the Slightly Biased Podcast. I'm Grayson.
And I'm Vinny. How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing good.
Raise the roof.
Feeling high energy. Feeling
Loving
excited.
Loving it.
It's a Friday.
Big potato energy.
We don't usually record on a Friday, but here we are on a Friday, taking time out of our lovely, well-earned, well-deserved weekend to bring you
I've been up since 5.
the Slightly Biased Podcast. Why have you been up
Episode
since 5?
49. Because I'm serving my country right now
How are you serving your country?
by doing drill.
Oh, that sounds helpful.
Someone's got to do it.
It's a dirty job.
Someone's got to serve. And that's me. Saving lives every month.
Saving lives on the monkey bars.
It's the
Do
best.
you crawl under razor wire?
No, what are you?
Barbed wire?
No way, man.
Is that a real thing?
That sounds dangerous. That is a real thing. In some branches, they do that.
Do they make you do that in the Air Force National Guard?
They might for certain career fields.
Not the InfoSec field?
Not the telecommunications field, no. I did once go to combat airman skills training, but it was very watered down. They used to go for a month-long program through the Army. Most of the Air Force doesn't need that for the jobs they do,
Yeah.
typically.
You are a member of the Air National Guard, right?
Yes, the Air National Guard.
Nice. Is that the fancy name for the Air Force?
So the Air Force has different components.
Ah.
Active duty is like straight Air Force. You do it every day of the year. Then there's Air Force Reserves, which
Right.
is federally funded through the government.
Is the normal Air Force not also federally funded?
It is, but the Air Force Reserve is a part-time component where you do like a few months of active duty at a time, and then you just take time off.
Oh, okay.
And then the Air National Guard is the guard component of it. It is funded through the state typically.
Is that like the Coast Guard?
No, the Coast Guard is funded through a different department.
Okay.
All Air Force, like all the branches are through the Department of Defense, and the Guard is a once-a-month component.
The Coast Guard?
No, the Air National Guard. Coast
But
Guard's different.
Is it funded? So are the Coast Guard and the Air National Guard funded by the same?
No, like during
State thing,
during
or-
the government shutdown, I would still have drill. I'd
Yeah.
go there still, and I would get paid. But the Coast Guard was not paid at all during the shutdown
Because
they're
funded
not funded through the
definitely.
DoD. Yeah, it's different.
Interesting.
Unless in the time of war when they get attached to the Navy.
The Coast Guard?
Yeah,
Cool. This is all very fascinating. And,
it is.
And
Like your student loan talk fascinates me.
oh yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, we were talking about student loans in a group chat
And it's
for a while.
the
and,
meme where
Vinny, who has no student loans, chimed into the group chat and was like, "Oh, it must be nice." No, it's not nice.
it's crazy because like that meme where the guy's like, when I was 17 years old, I was refused to be allowed to get a tattoo. But then 4 months later, I was allowed to,
Yeah.
take out $100,000 in loans. No,
okay.
$100,000 in student loans. Wild, crazy.
Oh, right.
That
right,
is
right.
allowed.
Yeah, because college students could be 17, right?
It's nuts. I don't know. They should not let you do that.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's like I feel like that's the same comparison as saying that people who can die for their country at 18 should be able to have a beer.
Yeah,
Whilst
I heard that a
doing
lot.
so.
Heard
That's like-
that a lot.
That's a classic one. One of those.
But the problem is,
idioms.
you know what the problem that is? People are immature and they ruin it for everyone else.
Yeah, like my brother who lost his promotion for being an alcoholic.
Yep, it happens a lot. We had a guy, guys get DUIs and stuff, and it's like,
Yeah.
you're 40 years old and you're still getting DUIs.
He was on the base in Okinawa when that dude when the one of the people on the same base killed a civilian,
oh my
an
God.
Okinawan civilian.
Through a DUI?
Yeah, through a DUI.
Oh my
One of
God.
the
That
base
is rough.
one of the basemen struck and killed a
A
Okinawan,
local Japanese person?
an Okinawan local. Yeah.
That's so bad because it makes like people question why the military's there,
Yeah,
and it's like,
literally
are
all
you
you're
kidding
doing
me?
on this base in Okinawa, the only thing you've accomplished is killing one of the locals.
Oh my, that's
So they
awful.
weren't allowed to leave the base after that for
Yeah,
like a year.
When I was in tech school, we went on lockdown because people would do that. We had one kid. So you were only allowed to go so far in a weekend without approval, and even then you can't go past a certain point.
Distance-wise?
Distance-wise. We had a group of kids who had gotten out of tech school probably 3 months prior, decided to go to what is it, Palm Beach? No, that's L.A. What's the one in Miami?
Where?
It's not.
Miami?
No, in Florida. There's a.
Fort Worth? No, that's Texas.
He went
Fort
to
Myers.
No, they went to like
Fort Lauderdale?
They went to some beach in Florida. I was in Mississippi at the time, and it was a drive. They went
Oh,
down
wow.
the Panhandle.
Oh boy.
And one of them got blackout drunk and got seriously hurt. And we were like,
destruction of government property.
They will punish your entire squadron because of that, because of one person's choice.
Yeah.
And then they brought his parents in that Monday to like talk to the squadron, and like they started crying to us, and we're sitting there and be like,
the parents?
Yes. I don't even. This kid was like, I guess like in
how
a
bad
very.
Hurt did he get?
He was in a coma for a brief period. He was that fucked up.
Wow. Because he was drunk or because he injured himself?
Probably both. I mean, I don't remember the details. This was in 2012. His mom was like up there pleading with us not to do it, and like I remember everyone was like, we don't even know who the guy got hurt. We have no idea who this is.
Yeah, like
because people come in tech school.
Like, how big is your platoon? Like, is that you?
This was like it's probably a few hundred people in a squadron for a tech school squadron.
300, and the whole
roughly.
Squadron got punished.
Yes. So they put you on lockdown.
So you'd never met this dude?
No, I have no idea who he was.
Wow.
They put you on lockdown, and then the way it operates in tech school, when you get out of basic, they call it a pipeliner, because that person's going from basic to tech school straight. And you're not allowed to just leave the base when you get out of basic. They put you on a phase program.
You're basically like a slave.
Yeah, you have ITP, which is like the first phase you go into tech school, where you cannot leave the base. You cannot walk around outside of your uniform, because they want to transition you slowly, because so many people just lose their minds when they get out of basic, because they have they have 2 months of paychecks.
They're like, I'm not a slave anymore?
No, they have 2 months of paychecks. They want to go buy shit and lose their mind.
Yeah.
Especially if they're over 21.
Right. Then they go to a bar and do it.
And so after like a month of being in that phase, they put you into the next phase where you have to like, they check your room daily, they check your way you look, and then you get the ATP phase where you can actually go off base.
You'll just like gradually regain your freedom
in civilian attire. So what this kid had done is he had caused everyone who had been in that squadron for either 6 months, a day, to be back to ITP for like 2 weeks because of one person's actions.
Fuck, that sucks.
And they really want to teach you that, like instill it in you that one person can change everything.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense in terms of like actual military shit. Like one bomb from one F-35 can like change the world or whatever.
It's nuts. Classic people making mistakes.
Air Force shit. Speaking of like military stuff, we got a lot of like kind of military related news this week.
What happened this week?
There was a huge deal worldwide about tensions between India and Pakistan.
Oh yeah, because the jet got shot down, right?
No, but before that. So that was the second thing I think that happened. Then there's probably more even than the second thing and the first thing. But I know that the first thing that happened, which there might have been stuff before this. I mean, I'm sure it's like a sliding scale, like every day. But the first big thing that I was aware of was that India killed 300 Pakistani terrorists in an airstrike. Because a large criticism of Pakistan is that the UN and the US have been criticizing Pakistan for harboring terrorist groups for a while.
Not surprised.
That's what the US and the UN are saying. And India said, we're not pro-terrorist, so India killed 300 Pakistani terrorists in Pakistan. So they like did this massive airstrike and killed 300 of these terrorists, and Pakistan's like, nuh-uh, that's no good. We don't like that. So then Pakistan shot down, I think, 2 of India's fighter jets and captured one of their pilots.
Yikes.
And the pilot, I think today, was released back to India. And it was a huge fanfare. And this guy, you should look up a picture of this guy. Look up, like, on Google, Indian fighter jet pilot or something. The guy looks like a rock star. It's so funny. I mean, this is like a really serious thing, but there is a little bit of light to be made in that the pilot, he looks like a WWE fighter.
Sick stash.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He has like not a handlebar. He has like the down your cheekbone, up your face, over your lip, down again, and then up your other cheekbone stash. The guy looks like a fucking celebrity. It's so cool.
That mustache would not be cool with a gas mask.
No, they wouldn't let him. Yeah.
That breaks the seal on that side.
Yeah, what is the thing where you do the 2 fingers under the edge?
Yeah, it cannot, like, in the U.S. military, this mustache cannot pass your lips because you want a tight seal.
Oh, that actually explains. I've always wondered why my brother's in the Marines, and him and his friends on Snapchat, they always have these nasty, gross, grungy porn stashes, and I always wondered why, and that actually explains it. Because he told me one time about how he had to do the gas mask training. He had to like stick 2 fingers under the seal of his gas mask for like 10 seconds or something while they were in the gas.
They make you take it off in basic. You take off a
okay.
gas mask
Okay.
just to feel it.
Just to feel it,
Get
yeah.
the idea of what chemicals feel like on your skin if you weren't aware what chemicals feel like.
Fun.
It's like the worst sunburn of your life in 20 seconds.
God, no, thank you.
You got to breathe it in, and boogers flying out your nose.
I would not make it in combat. So I'll take the computer with a little plastic keyboard. I'll take that. That's my challenge. There was also the North Korean summit between Trump and Kim Jong-un that happened.
You know what's great?
That was the thing that happened.
You know what's great about this? Trump is an expert deal maker.
Oh, he made the best deal.
The Art of the Deal is the book that he was pretty much ghost wrote. And to have an expert in that room negotiating, I'm sure it worked out so well for the U.S. that North Korea is probably going to back down and do everything we asked them to do.
Right. So, of course, what happened was he gave away some concessions and got nothing in return.
No, you're misreading that.
No, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. That's pretty much exactly what happened.
It's okay, though, because Trump is also an expert comedian. He made fun of a news journalist with glasses by putting circles over his eyes.
So that was a different thing. That was a thing that happened. The circles over the eyes thing did happen, but it wasn't a journalist. He was referencing how he was upplaying. He was like upselling Kim Jong-un's assistants.
Oh,
the assistants that Kim Jong-un brings with him into the meetings. He says, "You should see these assistants. They have clipboards and their little glasses," and he mimed glasses.
Hilarious.
Like, as if people don't know what glasses are.
Oh my God.
He goes, they come in with these glasses, right? Like this. And he's like putting his hands up to his face like a fucking moron. Oh my God.
He's so cool.
I wish I was as cool as Donald Trump. So yeah, he there was like video of Kim Jong-un's like motorcade leaving the hotel early. And like I don't know, I guess maybe they were staying in the same hotel. I don't know, but
oh yeah,
that's
definitely
so funny. Just oh God, they were in Vietnam, right?
Yeah,
and the summit was in Hanoi.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess
Hanoi. Yeah,
I think Hanoi is a city in Vietnam. That's about the extent that I know about Vietnam. But there was a lot of jokes on Twitter about how, oh, cool, Trump found a way for the U.S. to lose in Vietnam again. Or like, Trump suffers second Hanoi defeat the U.S.
He's really good.
Yeah, it was the memes of that were pretty high quality. We're at 12.
No, can you turn the other mics off?
I don't think we...
Yeah,
you can't once it starts recording. Anyway. So yeah, the North Korea summit didn't go well. I saw a lot of hot takes about how Trump was probably sitting in his hotel room watching the Michael Cohen hearing, which was happening at the same exact time during like the middle of the night for him, but the middle of the day for us.
That guy's a liar.
Michael Cohen, yeah,
he's a liar.
Trump went on a tweet storm. He went on a massive rampage on Twitter about Michael Cohen being a liar, and like the funny thing about that to me is that Michael Cohen has been indicted, he's been convicted, and he's been sentenced. He's going to jail for like 6 years for lying to prosecutors and all that. There is no way in fucking hell that he would risk going to more jail time by lying more.
I know.
He's already been convicted of lying. He knows that.
Don't tell the Republicans this.
And there's no reason he could ever possibly have for putting himself in more jeopardy by lying again. Like, he knows what happens when he lies.
Yeah.
He's already going to jail like next week.
This is the best.
There's no fucking way he would lie again. No way. No way in hell.
This is the best. This is going so... I love this.
And people are like, oh, he's a liar. He's a proven liar. Like, no, he literally has been indicted and is sentenced and is on his way to jail. He's already going to jail. Right now. He's going to jail for lying. Why the fuck would he lie more?
It's the best.
There's no way. Like,
did you watch it at all?
I watched some clips. I watched the clip of AOC drilling him, and it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
She was good. It
was
like
really
concise.
Good.
People are giving her so much shit. I don't know, because she's a millennial Hispanic. No, because
she's young and attractive, and people think, and like she doesn't speak. I think she just doesn't like wait for 5 minutes before she forms a sentence and talks. So sometimes she drops a word in a sentence or something, like humans do. You know, non-politicians when they're talking sometimes trip over their own tongues.
Yep.
But you've never heard Mike Pence trip over his own tongue, for example, because he's a trained politician. Trump can't even finish a sentence, right? Trump can't even finish a sentence, and they're giving AOC crap for like misspeaking sometimes, or like saying the wrong, like she accidentally said Senate instead of House of Republicans, or some shit, like some stupid shit like that, or like House instead of the word Congress.
I can't wait to see his. I cannot wait to see his tax returns, and it shows that he's just a con man with no money. I can't.
People knew that Trump was a con man when he'd won the presidential bid and he was a candidate. After that, there was all of these news stories. Like a bunch of news stories came out about how he never pays his contractors.
No.
And he has been self-dealing with his charitable foundations. And then they had to shut down his charitable foundation, or he tried to close it, and the Southern District of New York blocked him from shutting down his charitable foundation. He gave Hillary all this crap about the Hillary Foundation. Remember that? Remember the Clinton Foundation?
Yep.
Remember everything that they said about the Clinton Foundation? No. This guy literally tried to close his charitable organization because he was getting caught. He was in the process of getting caught by a slow-moving train. And he tried to move off the tracks, and the SDNY prosecutors were like, no, we're issuing a court order that says you can't close this company, this charitable organization, because we're investigating it. And it's he's so fucked. He did not plan. And Michael Cohen in the testimony at one point said he did not plan on winning.
Yeah, it was never. He
did not plan on winning.
He referred to his presidential campaign, Trump, as the world's greatest infomercial for the Trump brand.
Did Michael Cohen say that, or did Michael Cohen say Trump said that?
He said Trump said that.
Jesus.
Something along those lines. And it's
the funniest part of that is that he thinks an infomercial is good.
Yeah, I know. He's very tacky.
Who else do we know who thinks that infomercials are good?
I don't know. Flex tape?
Oh, boy. Yeah, remember that report? Remember that CNN article about how the Mueller report was supposed to come out this week? It's Friday.
Oh, yeah.
It's Friday. No Mueller report.
They're working on Roger Stone now on the Mueller report.
Oh,
they're trying to...
But CNN, they hired for their new chief political editor that ex-Trump White House crony.
Yep.
And then they proceeded to air mainline a story about how the Mueller report was going to come out this week. Oh, guess what? It didn't come out.
Shocker.
Yeah. So CNN is a garbage fire.
Who do you check for your news? Fox News?
No, I check Breitbart.
What is it?
Breitbart?
I never heard of that.
No, I'm kidding. Breitbart is Alex Jones's.
Oh, yeah. See, I wouldn't even know.
News agency.
You could have told me it was good. I would have.
Or no, wait. I'm sorry. Alex Jones is InfoWars. Breitbart is Steve Bannon.
Oh, God.
Except I think they let him back. You know how he got fired from the White House?
Steve Bannon looks like the male equivalent of Roseanne.
He looks like what someone whose breath smells like cigarettes would look like.
Oh, God. Why do you keep using the tobacco toothpaste? It's good.
Yeah, he looks like he smells like cigarette breath and coffee breath. Anyway.
Goddamn. Okay, no more politics.
No more politics. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is kind of politics, but not really. Do you know about the Epstein case?
No.
So the Epstein case was a child sex child sex ring.
Yikes.
Child sex slaves, basically. And that's, as far as crimes go, it's pretty much only serial killer above that. It's that and then serial killer. There's not really.
It's really almost worse, I feel like.
It probably, yeah, because you're destroying the lives of thousands of children, or hundreds of
there's
children.
No way. It's, yeah.
He ran a child prostitution ring.
Oh, God.
And this guy, Epstein, whatever his first name is, Epstein, his name should not be remembered except for this. So, and this was a guy who was well connected. This was a guy who was friends with George W. Bush, this Epstein guy. He was very, very wealthy, and he was running, and very connected to wealthy politicians, wealthy businessmen, billionaires, millionaires, whatever. And he was running this child sex ring for the millionaires. The millionaires were the clients.
I believe. Well, yeah.
And he was prosecuted by the attorney general of somewhere whatever jurisdiction. The lead prosecutor on this case for the government was a guy named Alex Acosta. Alex Acosta gave him as the prosecutor, and he's been quoted after this fact saying that this case, the Epstein case, was one of his shining moments of pride. This guy, Alex Acosta, the prosecutor. And what he did was he gave Epstein a plea deal. The plea deal included him only pleading guilty to one charge of prostitution or soliciting prostitution. This guy had a sex ring for hundreds of kids, right? He pled guilty to one count of normal prostitution, not child prostitution. And the sentence that he was given was 1 year in a like a state prison, a low security, a minimum security state prison where he had his own office and he had work permits. So he could even leave the prison to go work at an office. And he was given 1 year. And also, as part of this plea deal, any of the customers of this child sex ring also gained immunity from prosecution. This guy, Alex Acosta, is the current labor secretary for the Trump government. The current labor secretary. And he's the one who gave Epstein this plea deal, which he has referenced as being a shining moment for him, a shining achievement. And it just goes to show that Trump has been, at every single turn, like funneling the swamp into his government. And like worse than the swamp, because this is not the swamp. This is the bottom of a volcano.
Why are so many politicians as sociopaths? I don't get it.
It's mostly Trump. I mean, and like anyone he appoints to anything, you can count on for being the fox that has been shoved in a hen house, right? This is him shoving the dingo in with the group. The what's the ward that's full of babies after they're born? Like, you know,
shit,
whatever,
the baby
fertility ward or whatever. He's shoving the dingo in the fertility ward. He's putting the what is it, the fox is watching the hen house or whatever. He's doing that. The wolf is the one guarding the babies here, and like he's done this at every level. He's done this with the I forget what it was, but there was another news story recently about him Trump putting a climate denier in charge of like climate relations. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's fine.
I mean, he's an expert in the
climate
matter,
change denialism. So yeah, the positive upbringing news here is that Alex Acosta, the prosecutor who gave Epstein this bullshit plea deal, is being indicted. And I hopefully, if God exists, this man, Alex Acosta, will go to jail forever, along with Epstein. I don't know. Maybe they can. I don't know if they can double jeopardy his ass, but like they need to, because it's ridiculous. So the thing that they're bringing him up on was that the prosecutor, Alex Acosta, he violated a federal law that requires disclosure of any plea negotiations to the victims of the crime that was committed. So there was like a federal law that was passed by Congress like in 1995 or something that says that anyone who's a victim of a crime has the right to know about any plea bargain proceedings.
Yeah.
And he never notified them. He never notified any of these victims of these child sex crimes. So because he never notified them about the process and the progress made during the plea bargain negotiations, he violated federal law by not telling them about it. So hopefully, until after the plea was struck. So hopefully that will lead him to jail for a very long time. Also, Walmart is removing all the greeters.
I heard about that. I heard it's a big controversy.
Real sad. Big sad.
Are you a fan of the greeters at Walmart? Because I'm really not.
I don't like being greeted by them because it makes me feel like I have to talk to them, but I like that they're getting paid.
You ever been to a Walmart in like the Midwest and had a greeter greet you?
I've been to a Walmart.
It's very strange.
I've been to a Walmart in Middle Massachusetts and had them greet me, but I like that they're getting. I appreciate that they're getting paid for something because they don't have anything else to do. So I like that they're getting paid by Walmart for doing essentially nothing. But I mean, like, it's good of them to pay them. But now they're like, oh well, you have to like be able to lift 25 pounds or there's some other physical, like it's basically singling out people who have disabilities from the position that is exclusively filled by people with disabilities. So it's like really fucked up and weird that they would do that because it was only ever there to give people a job who couldn't get other jobs, right?
I hate Walmart. Do you like Walmart?
No.
You know who hates Walmart? Elizabeth Warren. Yeah. She hates Walmart.
I love Elizabeth Warren.
I'm going to read you an excerpt from her book because I screenshotted it a couple weeks ago. It's about Walmart and the retailers who are ruining this country.
Yeah.
Every year, employers like retailers and fast food outlets pay wages that are so low that the rest of America ponies up a collective $153 billion to subsidize their workers. That's $153 billion every year. Anyone wants to guess what we could do with the mountain of money? We could make every public college tuition free and pay for preschool for every child and still have tens of billions left over. Can you imagine that? If Walmart paid people properly?
Yeah. I mean, like, there was that news article about how if Trump's parade budget went towards like feeding the homeless, we could
It's
feed
nuts.
all the homeless.
We
right?
waste.
We could
yeah.
feed all the homeless with Trump's parade budget. Or if he canceled one of his trips to his Florida golf club.
Why are people so fucking evil and corrupt that they hate they hate the citizens of the country they lead? I don't get it.
Well, people are this is a real conversation, right? Like this is a real discussion, and the other side of it would say that they are against giving people entitlements, right? Like that's the whole thing. The trigger word is entitlements. They don't want people to feel like they're getting handouts so that they don't have to work.
So it's like for instance, if Walmart paid people properly, would have to do less handouts.
Yes. Yeah, correct.
There's like the profit they make is insane.
But that would also be big government overreaching into the rules that Walmart has the right to set for their employees.
It's like Ivanka Trump.
So you don't like it, don't work at Walmart.
Ivanka
right?
Trump's like, nobody wants to make a minimum wage.
Yeah. No one wants.
She's
and
so
like,
fucking stupid. God.
Right. So like this is the other thing. I mean, like this is an Elizabeth Warren quote as well as or no, this was an AOC quote. Nobody who works full time, nobody who works a 40-hour work week should not be able to pay rent.
Yeah.
For a 1-bedroom apartment.
It's true.
Right? Like the average rent for however many bedrooms you need, whatever, like nobody who works a 40-hour week should be unable to pay rent.
Yeah.
And that's the defining argument.
The whole idea is minimum wage.
Right? Like
it has
minimum wage.
It
It's
has
the
not,
minimum. It's the like what is the minimum? What does minimum mean? It means the literal minimum you need to survive, right?
This is supposed to be the greatest country on earth.
And a 40-hour work week.
We treat our
survive?
citizens like shit.
Like you can't survive on 40 hours of work. Like what they like people really actually expect people to work more than 40 hours a week. Like that's like when they say, "Oh, we don't want handouts. Oh, we'll just get a better job." Like no, what you're asking them to do
It's
is
not
work
a fair
more than 40 hours.
fucking playing ground because the government lets them get away with this shit. And
there's a lot of potential solutions, but you have to actually do some of them.
In her book, she talks about somebody who works at Walmart who Walmart plays the game and cuts hours back and screws people over just to do these things.
Like, well, you don't like it,
down.
don't work here. Right?
It's insane.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, if we can make them work 35 hours, then they're not full time. So we don't have to pay them benefits.
The problem with benefits is I think it's like over 24 hours that you have to give them health care.
Oh, okay. So that's good at least. But like, yeah, no, I mean.
But then they give them 20 hours.
Yeah. So that happened with Walmart. Moving back to child sex crimes, Cardinal George Pell was found guilty.
Is that Australia?
I don't know.
It's the guy.
It's a cardinal. Though.
I think it was a guy in Australia.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
It was like the Pope's right-hand man for a bit or something?
Yes, he's one of the cardinals are like the Pope's right-hand men. Yeah. And he was found guilty of sex crimes.
Is anyone shocked?
No, nobody is shocked, but it is impressive that this is getting, there's justice. That is why this is notable.
Let priests get married. I'm not saying it'll fix it, but it's a step in the right direction.
It's definitely a step, yeah.
These guys are supposedly celibate for years, and it blows their mind up.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also shocks to hear me about how many nuns are sexually abused, too, that no one talks about.
Well, no, I haven't even heard of this.
I guess our article on it a few weeks back, well, it's like a shocking number of how many younger nuns are allowed to be abused. Because they're...
By who? The older nuns?
By the priests.
Oh, okay. I thought the convents were all women.
But sometimes they're connected. Like, usually convents will have a priest there.
Oh, okay.
To conduct like mass.
Oh, right, because the priest is the guy who has to do the God stuff, right? Like the nuns aren't allowed to do God stuff.
They're just sisters of God or whatever.
Yeah.
Or daughters of God.
Yeah.
Religion's weird. Let's solve it.
Yeah. Stop religion. Abolish religion.
Become a communist today.
Yeah. Oh. Did we talk about the Cohen testimony already? Was that off?
A little bit. It was a little bit.
Did we talk about it on the air or did we talk about it?
Yeah, we talked about it on the air.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, we said that I really liked AOC's because AOC interviewed Cohen for 4 minutes and 15 seconds and got Trump on 3 crimes.
I hope so.
Like she got that. I saw someone saying that like she only interviewed him for 4 minutes and 15 seconds and got 3 like incriminating indictment like word level stuff on Trump out of him.
And this article says here Michael Cohen implicated Trump in at least 11 different felonies.
Yeah, I've seen
We'll see what happens with it. I don't know if it'll happen, but
I don't know. Like, and I keep seeing more and more and more things on like Twitter and on the news about different people coming out and saying that a sitting president can be indicted. Like, and it's just like they're not going to overrule the DOJ guidance, but they're making cases.
Do we need to indict him? Do we need to impeach
him?
do they target the people around him instead?
They can target people around him until the cows come home, but it's not going to get him out of
Kushner
office.
shit with his clearance. Don Jr.'s an idiot with the worst judgment anyone's ever seen, apparently.
He's so stupid. Did you see the thing where he tweeted that, like, it was like the worst judgment ever tweet?
Was this right after it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw this one.
It was like the tweet was labeled, "Hey, Don Jr. has the worst judgment
and
ever."
He
retweeted someone.
It could have been a joke though. Him just being like, "I am
know.
sarcastic."
I don't know. I don't think he's that clever.
He is the guy who tweeted about how they opened another job or automobile plant from like 5 years ago, and he acted like it was yesterday.
Yeah. Oh god.
He has the worst.
He's so stupid.
The worst judgment I've ever seen.
Roll into spring with the latest active sportswear from Walmart. Suntop sets and short sets for just $10. Catch a breezy look in a camisole and top, trimmed with ribbons, lace, or eyelet border. Or whirl around in a short sleeve terry top with matching shorts in lots of springtime colors. Suntop sets and short sets just $10 each during Walmart's fantastic spring sale now through Saturday.
The right look at the right price at Walmart.
In more uplifting news, we have moon Jews now.
What the fuck is a moon Jew?
Moon Jews. The Jews are on the moon. It's great.
How?
Oh, there is a lander, a lunar lander that was sent to the moon. The lander is called Bereshit, which means in the beginning in Hebrew. And it was sent to the moon by a company called Space IL, or I think. Yeah, I think Space IL was the name of the company. It's it is a privately funded Israeli-based company. And I think they sent an entire copy of the like Halacha or the Old Testament up to the moon with a lunar lander.
Nice.
It's big news. It's big news because they became Israel is now the fourth country to land something on the moon. Behind U.S., Russia, then China, which was recent. Just recently they landed something. And then now Bereshit has landed on the moon. It'll land on the moon in about 2 months, I think. It'll take it to get there. Because they're doing, they're basically staying in an elliptical orbit around the Earth. And when they get to the closest approach, they accelerate, which pushes the furthest approach further and further away. And they're going to use that to like lengthen the orbit, and eventually the wide part of the orbit will be close enough to reach the moon at an interception.
Nuts.
So yeah, also SpaceX tested their Crew Dragon capsule during a max Q, which means for the layman, a max aerodynamic pressure interval launch abort. So when the rocket that pushes the capsule up to space was experiencing the maximum dynamic pressure of the atmosphere, they tested the launch abort system on the capsule successfully.
Nice.
And it worked. The capsule pulled away from the rocket. The rocket was like going full, like the time where it would be most likely to fail, basically the maximum pressure on it from the air. And the capsule successfully pulled away from the rocket and aborted successfully. So now, tonight, they are sending the first Crew Dragon capsule to the ISS. It'll be uncrewed at this point, but it is the crew version of the capsule.
Is anyone on the ISS right now?
Yeah.
There is? Okay.
Yeah. There's a full crew of I think 5 to 7 people.
Thought it was done.
What? No.
Or is US done with it?
No. The US is only done in that we don't have any launchers to send people up to it. We've been sending people up to the ISS the entire time. We've just had to use the Russian Soyuz launcher capsule system. Like we've had to use the Russian Soyuz capsule for the past like 4 years or something, ever since the space shuttle got retired.
Yeah.
We haven't had a way to get up there. So we've been using the Russian capsule. So now they had Obama started the commercial crew program, the NASA commercial crew program. And the two main contenders are Boeing's Starliner space capsule and SpaceX's Crew Dragon capsule. And SpaceX has beaten Starliner Boeing to be the first one to actually go up to the space station. And so their capsule will be launching tonight at 1:30 a.m. and it will be on a fully autonomous trip up to the space station. There will be no one on board, but they're testing the full range of capabilities for a mission. So if this succeeds, the next flight of the Crew Dragon will have people on it. And it will be the first time since the space shuttle that United States astronauts have gone to the space station from America.
They launch out of Florida still?
Yep. Yeah, Cape Canaveral. They actually launched on Launch Pad 39B, which is the launch pad that the space shuttle launched from. So it's the same launch pad. They have, I mean, it's Launch Pad 39B, so they have a few launch pads.
Do they ever retire like launch pads if like the
yeah.
shuttle blows up?
Yeah. They
like
do.
the Challenger one?
Right.
They retired that?
Yes, they did. Any launch pad that's been damaged, they just retire it.
Interesting.
So Launch Pad 39B is, or Launch Complex 39B, whatever they call it, is a historic launch pad. It had the space shuttles launch from it. And it's the same one that SpaceX uses.
Which one did Columbia use?
I have no idea.
I wonder if it was that one.
Probably. That was the one that blew up in
coming back in
re-entry,
re-entry, yeah.
Not the one that blew up on... Well, the one that blew up on... The other one, there was only 2 failures, right, of the space shuttle. The one that blew up on the way up and the one that burned up on re-entry.
Yeah, because before that was the Apollo program, I guess.
Right. Did someone die in the Apollo program? I'm sure they did, yeah.
So Gus Grissom...
Well, there was the capsule that caught fire. There was the pad fire.
That was
the first one.
That's the one with Gus Grissom. That was like Apollo...
It was like Apollo 4.
Yeah, it was early on in the program.
It was early. It was like maybe it was like Apollo 1 or 2, I think, or maybe even 3, but it was before 4 at least. Because that was before they changed the hatch to open outward instead of inward.
Yeah, it's a good call.
Yeah. the hatch opens outward after that.
It's crazy.
They couldn't get out.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine being trapped on top of a rocket and because the problem was that they flooded those capsules, the Apollo capsules, with pure oxygen.
Yep, and they had too much Velcro.
And they were covered in Velcro. So a single spark lit the Velcro on fire in a hyper-oxygenated environment.
Yep.
And the oxygen axis inside. Can you imagine being trapped on top of like 35,000 tons of propellant and oxygen in a capsule that takes like 20 minutes to unscrew the bolts to open from the outside, and it only opens from the outside? Like, oh my God. No wonder they died. Like, that's just
I can't even imagine the Challenger when it blew up.
Well, they didn't feel anything, right? I thought they didn't feel anything.
There was some report that said some of them were alive when it happened, and they flew out. They probably passed out once they started hitting the G's coming down.
Yeah, that's scary.
Somebody fucked up there big time.
Well, it was a tile. It was a heat.
Something was loose or something that came undone. Or something.
It was just one of the reentry ablative tiles, the heat shield. One of the tiles on the heat shield. Yeah, so that's actually why. So like the Challenger explosion is the reason why SpaceX isn't landing the Dragon capsule propulsively, because they're so good at landing rockets propulsively. They were like, well, we might as well try to land our capsule propulsively with rockets on like a launch pad.
Yeah.
They were going to land it with rockets on a launch pad, but that plan got ditched when they were worried about how to have the lander legs come out through the heat shield, because it would create a weak point in the heat shield if there's a part that has to open to let the lander's legs come through. So they're like, it's not worth the risk to like compromise potentially the heat shield. So they're landing it in the ocean instead, which is just like the Apollo capsules. So yeah. But the downside to that is that even though the Falcon 9 booster itself is fully reusable, the Crew Dragon capsules, because they land in the Atlantic Ocean, they are not reusable because they're refurbishable, but the cost to refurbish a saltwater soaked like $1 million spaceship is the same as the cost of making a new one.
Why not just let them in the Great Lakes? That's pretty big.
Yeah, you miss and you take out Chicago. That's why.
Oh shit. So we're aiming for the South Pacific.
You know that the Dragon boosters, when they come back down to the launch pad, they actually come down over the water, and like at the last second, they kind of change their course and fly into the launch pad. It's so cool. Like they built that safety feature in, because if like it fails halfway down, it'll just land on the water.
Jesus.
And then it kind of like taxis over sideways after the engine turns on to land on the pad. Yeah, fucking love SpaceX. Everything they do, I just love it so much.
Elon's having a tough time right now.
Elon is having a tough time right now.
Elon is his worst enemy.
Elon is his own worst enemy. And the SEC is threatening to sue him again for contempt of court.
He should just leave both those companies and start something new.
Yeah,
just the
tunnel thing, right?
The boring company.
Yeah, the boring company.
No, leave that
the flamethrower company.
Just be the visionary. Don't run them. Just be the visionary and move on.
Yeah, he's not like nobody has ever claimed that Elon Musk is a expert manager.
No,
right? He's a genius, but he's not. He's like, would you want Tony Stark to run your Fortune 500 company?
I want Pepper Potts.
You want Pepper Potts to run your Fortune 500 company and build your buildings for you. You don't want Iron Man building your buildings.
Nope.
He's not a good manager. People have said he's driving because he pushes people to be better than they are, because he does that to himself. So he's like, I'm going to push myself and I'm going to push you. He's a pusher. You know,
He's a drug pusher.
he's a drug pusher.
Hashtag Mean Girls.
Get that Mean Girls reference. Oh,
Did you-
sweet Mean
Did you
Girls
hear
reference.
about this Sonic franchise? Where'd the article go?
Do you mean the movie, the live action movie?
No. These Sonic franchise in Ohio. There's I guess just these 3 under the same ownership.
Oh, you mean the restaurant?
Yeah, they
Not
cut,
the Sega game.
they cut the restaurant staff from minimum wage to $4 plus tips.
Ugh.
So when you go to McDonald's,
Do people get tips at Sonic?
Do you tip at these places? Like, do you
No.
leave money behind?
No.
So in response,
Everyone quit. Sonic's gone now.
at 3 separate locations, they all quit.
Good.
They all quit because that's bullshit.
They would literally be better suited to go and work for $4 an hour at an actual restaurant.
Yeah, and
Because then they would actually
tips.
get tips. Like, if you're going to fucking pay me
And
$4.
The staff left a message to
Oh, that's a long
to
message.
customers on a whiteboard. It says, "Due to terrible management, the whole store has quit.
The whole store's quit.
The company has been sold to people that don't give a fuck about anyone but themselves."
Wow. Wait,
Sorry-
including the store manager?
Looks like it, yeah.
That's amazing. Because the store manager, like, if it didn't quit, they wouldn't let them write that.
Maybe the son runs the store of the owners. "Sorry for the inconvenience, but our team refuses to work for a company that treats their employees like they are shit when they have to
Wow.
put everything into this story. Everything into this
Store.
store." Yeah, the E is being tailed there. "We have worked too hard for too long. We are all off to do better things. So to the new owners, fuck you."
Wow. Just moving real quick back to Elon Musk. The Tesla 3S was released like yesterday.
Yeah, they closed all the stores because of it.
Yeah, well, I don't know why they closed the stores, but they released, I think it was just the same press briefing that they announced both of
Oh.
those things. But they released, it's so like back when the Tesla Model 3 was announced, the big news was that it would be the $35,000 price tag of the Model S, which was like an $80,000 car.
Yeah.
So they're like, we're going to release a similar car for a cheaper market at $35,000. And I don't know how long the Model 3 has been in existence, but just now they finally got the price down to $35,000.
I saw that, and I was
Which
a
is big
little
news.
concerned on that one because the miles were super low on that.
220 or 240.
That seems really low.
It's not that low. It's like, I mean, if you had a Mustang,
But like,
right?
yeah.
A Mustang could just have a huge fuel
But the
tank,
problem
I
on the
guess,
Mustang is I
technically.
can fill it up at the corner any place I go.
Right, yeah.
Which
so I think
concerns me.
the argument is don't get this car if you have to commute long distances, and don't
Yeah,
get
I
this
guess.
car if you can't use a supercharger.
They have the longer range one, but it's like 42,000, I think, or
47, I think.
Yeah.
But it's
But-
it's like 360, I think, or something. 355.
How fast do they charge?
So the supercharger can charge it 50% in half an hour.
Still, I don't think we're
It's
quite
still
there.
a long. I mean, that's 30 minutes to like. This is the thing. If you're gonna take a 4-hour road trip, and it's the difference between a 4-hour road trip and a 4.5-hour road trip. And I'm not like super into sitting at a gas station for half an hour, but I think there are worse things in the world. I would
It's
if it meant that I had to sit at a gas station, like, you know, the service stations at I-90. If I had to sit at the service station on I-90 for half an hour to own a Tesla, I would still own the Tesla.
I just don't think they're 100% there yet for a lot of people to commit to buying an electric car.
And they're not for everybody.
It's
They're just
gonna-
not for
It's
everybody.
gonna be like 10 years probably, I would say.
Well, that's the thing. I think the biggest thing is that it's charging. Like that's really the only problem is that they take a while to charge, right?
Yeah.
Like there's not
it.
really anything else. Like unless you could swap all the batteries every time you stop, that would be the only other way to do it.
They couldn't have 2 batteries in there and the motion of the wheels charge the other one as it goes.
Are you
Is it-
stupid?
Is that possible?
Are you an idiot?
I don't know.
No, that's not possible.
Why not?
First of all, they already do something called regenerative braking, which uses the wheels when they're not being powered to recharge the battery.
I don't know that.
That's called regenerative braking, and it uses the motors to charge the wheels as you're slowing down. But that only works when you're slowing down or going the same speed, basically. So, but it does, and it kind of does trickle charge the battery, but only when you're slowing down because it uses the motors to slow you down. There's something called I don't know if you've ever taken like a physics class, but there's something called the conservation of energy, which says that you can't ever get more energy out of a system than you're putting into this system. And if you're putting battery energy, electrical energy into making yourself go a certain
I'm saying
speed-
have 2 batteries in the car.
right, I know, but what I'm saying is if you're putting electrical energy into a system, like from a battery into a wheel to make the wheel spin, there's no way to get that back. You can recapture some of it by slowing the wheel back down, but you've already that would require a system that like generates electricity at 100% efficiency. And like even a wind turbine, like it's not generating 100% of like, you know what I mean? Like if you turned a fan on at another fan and that fan was generating electricity, the motor heating up and the like resistance of the magnets like pushing against themselves being moved, all of those contribute to the efficiency of the motor. So there's like a certain margin of electricity that gets destroyed essentially by overcoming the inefficiencies of the friction of the motor.
It's like copying a copy. It's never the same.
Exactly. Like you're losing some resolution each time, and you're losing a little bit of data and a little bit of power to push past the inefficiency of a motor just to get the motor to move.
Hashtag
so like,
get schooled.
If it was a perfect motor, you would be able to get 100% of the efficiency.
I got an even better idea
out of it.
I got a better
But you can't use two batteries because like you're already using that electricity to make
I got a
go.
better idea. We're going to attach little windmills to the cars, and as it moves, it generates electricity for the second battery. And on each windmill blade, it's going to be a solar panel, so it charges.
Do you ever hear that thing about how you're putting a roof rack on your car reduces your fuel efficiency?
Yeah, because it fucks the airflow of it around it.
So what would you imagine happens if you put a bunch of windmills on a car?
The batteries get charged a lot.
No.
We'll add more batteries to substitute.
The batteries aren't
it's
the
gonna
problem.
work.
The batteries aren't the problem. It's the air. You're making the car have to push. You're making the motors have to push something that is pushing against the air. Like you're reducing the efficiency of the drag of the car.
We'll add a bigger trunk and have two motors.
Oh my god. Okay.
That's how we're gonna
I think
do
we've gotten to the limit of how much I can explain this.
And then we're gonna have more wheels too.
Nailed it. That sounds like more things that you'll have
We'll
to
attach two Teslas together. Two Teslas together.
One Tesla pulling the other Tesla.
That'll give us probably 400 miles total.
Because towing things doesn't reduce your efficiency, right?
No, because our Teslas are lighter.
No, Teslas are heavier.
Teslas are lighter because there's no gas in them.
They're heavier because the battery is heavy.
I'm calling Elon. This just we make the batteries lighter, Grayson.
Oh, okay.
That's the secret no one understands is lighter batteries.
Yeah, Teslas are heavier than normal cars because of batteries.
When are you gonna buy a Tesla?
The second I can afford it.
I knew it.
Probably when my loans are paid off. Realistically, when my school loans are paid off.
So when the Tesla Model like 25 is out?
Yeah.
Nice.
Honestly, I can't afford it until my school loans are paid off.
Why don't you just go in the military and get your loans paid off? How much federal do you have?
Federal loan? Well, you would know if you were paying attention to that group
forgot because I was trying to compare your and Tony's. I forgot.
It's 26,000.
I feel like
federal student loans.
I think with loan forgiveness, the government will do federal ones, but not private ones.
Correct. Yeah.
So
Tony has like 100 in private and like 20 or 40 or whatever.
You could definitely pay those off. So so if you went in the military and took a tech job with a $20,000 signing bonus, you could easily just pop that on, be done with it.
Maybe I should do that. Well, no, because if it's they have the forgiveness programs if you work a state job. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. If you do a 6-year commitment to the Guard, I think they pay it off.
I don't want to work I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in the military.
Well, I'm just saying, if you want to set yourself
anything
off
that would
on
require
financial future,
anything that would require me to do basic, I'm not on board with.
It's not that bad. You make a lot of friends.
I've stated my.
It's changed a lot since I
have stated my commitments.
They have like you can take your phone now with you. It's a lot different.
Well, now you've changed my mind.
They don't yell at you as much.
I'm still not on board with that.
I wonder if there's other options you could do for loan forgiveness.
Do you hear about the saddest piece of news that has happened in the past week?
Oh, there's a lot of news.
There was a lot. But I mean, like, worse than all of that, Robert Kraft charged with soliciting prostitution in Florida as part of a human trafficking ring.
I don't believe it.
That happened this week.
I know about it.
That happened this week.
Barstool's up in arms.
Yeah. So Robert Kraft is the owner of the New England Patriots.
Yep.
And he is the reason why Bill Belichick is the coach. He is the reason why Brady's our quarterback. He's the reason why the Patriots have won 6 Super Bowls.
He's donated millions, if not hundreds of millions, to charity over the years.
Yes. And
he seems like
I think he's a pretty good guy.
Seems like a pretty good guy. He wanted a rub and tuck.
He just wanted to make some mac and cheese and bring the New England back into sports relevance.
Good for him. His wife died of cancer at a young age.
Real sad.
The guy just needs a release. and his release happens to be in a Miami masseuse parlor.
So like clearly it needs to be stated that if you're going to solicit prostitutes, do it on, what is it, Backdoor? No, not Backdoor.
Backdoor is gone. From what I hear, it's gone.
Do it on Backdoor.
It's Backpages. And
Backpage,
it's
that's
closed.
the one. Do it on Backpage.
It's closed.
At least kind of try.
We've just talked about how...
Because this is the thing, okay? We shouldn't criminalize sex work, right? Prostitutes should not be illegal. It's fucked up and weird and hypocritical because most of the people in the government probably use prostitutes.
We just talked about how people in the government are millionaires or have a pedophile sex ring.
And like they're taking millions of dollars from corporate interests anyway. We know that they're not good people. They're probably hiring prostitutes. They probably get fancy prostitutes. They probably have their own version of Backpage.
Oh yeah.
Like there's probably a Backpage for Congress people and senators.
The weird thing on prostitution is if you add a camera to it, it's okay.
Yeah, it's literally
very
is.
strange.
It's legal to film porn and pay both of the actors in porn.
Yeah.
But it's not legal for that's like
it's very weird.
It's just sex work. People do sex, like cam girls are legal.
Yep.
That's paying somebody for sex acts. It's just over the video.
It uses tokens though.
It uses tokens,
not money,
not real money, because you're paying for the tokens and then trading the tokens and then they can cash the tokens out on there. And come on, just sex work is not this is the thing about making laws that make things illegal like this. You're only making it more dangerous by making it illegal. If people want to get an abortion or need to get an abortion, they're going to get an abortion. Making the abortion illegal means that they have to go through illegal means to get it, which makes it unsafe. If people want marijuana, if people want cocaine, they're going to get it. You're not going to stop them from getting marijuana or cocaine. I shouldn't put those on the same level, but I am for now. But if they're by making it illegal, you're making them go to people who are not accountable for their actions. They're already breaking the law, so they're not accountable for the ways in which they acquire the drugs and sell you the drugs. So to make the system safer, make it legal, and then you can regulate it in a way that makes it safe. So the same thing applies to sex workers and prostitution. Sex workers need to be safe. They need to be put in a system that is safe for them. But if they can't report crimes against them without exposing themselves to criminal offenses like vulnerabilities, they can't report that. It makes their jobs dangerous because now they can't go to the authorities if crimes are committed against them. So just make it legal because you're making everyone less safe by not making it legal. And then guys like Robert Kraft got to go to a criminal organization in Florida where they're running as criminals, and they had, I think it was reported.
He was set up. He was getting a massage.
I think it was reported, right, that the sex workers in this place were human trafficked there, right? I think was the story.
I'm gonna probably say yes to that.
So you're by making sex work illegal, you're saying, well, these people are on the same level as human traffickers, right? Okay, well then the human traffickers are the ones that you go to get sex work or to pay for sex. But if there were legal ways of paying for sex, you wouldn't need to go to the human traffickers who are also breaking other laws, right? It's very silly. If he wanted to do it in such a way, if he wanted to get a rub and tug at a massage parlor that advertised rub and tugs, then they would be accountable to systems that would make sure that they're not abusing their rub and tug givers. So it's all one huge argument for making sex work legal. It's just like any other kind of work. And that's my Grayson Cry corner on that one.
Yeah, I can't wait to have the music.
It's going to be great. Boston Uprising won against the Shanghai.
They're a team of cheaters.
Boston Uprising?
I have no idea.
Wasn't
that one guy in there a cheater?
Yeah, but he wasn't the only one who got hit by penalties. And the penalties were for account sharing and boosting. And a bunch of teams got hit by that. It wasn't just Boston Uprising.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
This D&D Slack is looking pretty light for Sunday.
I know. Sam said he's going to try and make it.
Why don't these people use the Slack?
I think it's just been a weird week. It's just been a weird week. People are tired all over. It's going to snow tomorrow on Saturday.
Mm-hmm,
it's going to snow 5 inches on Saturday.
Is it?
Yeah.
I keep seeing different maps.
Yeah.
I get it either.
That's what I saw.
Go back down the Cape tomorrow or hope it's canceled.
Yeah.
I hope
Oh,
it's
you,
canceled.
yeah, because you're going back down to the Cape for drill.
I gotta be
right?
there for 6:45.
In the morning.
Yeah.
Go to bed right now.
So I
Jesus.
started that new job,
It's like 7 p.m.
and
I thought you were driving back from your job.
No, I was right back from the Cape today.
Oh wow,
I started that new job, and they let me come in at 6 a.m. I love it.
nice.
I get up at 4:45 to go there. So I've been doing this all week, and it's like, I hope my body adjusts getting up early. I don't know.
I mean, it will. My
I
coworker,
don't know how long it takes.
My coworker works 6 to 2.
It's the dream, man. You should do it too.
No, I'm never gonna do that. That's the worst. I don't want to go to bed at 8:30.
I got to bed at like 9:30.
No, I'll pass.
Your body adjusts. It's like
I mean,
elastic.
yeah, no, I know it would. I just don't want to do that.
But can you imagine like getting on at 2:00 in the summer?
Getting out at 2:00?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty.
I can
fucking
also
good.
imagine not waking up at 6 a.m.
At the last place I
or
worked,
5 a.m.
They gave us summer hours, so I'd get out at 2:30.
I don't want to imagine waking up when it's dark. I want to wake up when it's light out.
You get used to the lack of vitamin D, man. It's cool.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that you're either driving to work in the dark or you're driving home in the dark.
My
in the
commute
winter.
has gotten way better though. Let me tell you that.
True.
Besides,
That's the biggest advantage.
It went from 30 miles one way to like 13 and a half miles.
Miles or minutes?
Miles.
What?
I was doing like 60 miles a day for my other job. Just,
oh well,
just
that's
driving
the
there
job
and back.
difference, though. That's the location. I'm
Yeah.
talking about like the time you go to work. How long does it take you
So I
as
do,
opposed
I
to commuting in rush hour?
I
Right?
do back roads, and the only problem with it is just the lights. It's not traffic, but the lights that get you.
Mhm.
But it's way better than driving to fucking Chelmsford, which is
Did you hear
like
about?
40 minutes from here.
Did you hear about Manchester Pride?
Is that the
Manchester, England.
soccer team or something?
No, it is Manchester, England, so it's the same Manchester, but there is a Manchester Pride Festival, and Ariana Grande was signed on as the headliner.
Yeah.
The tickets for this Pride Festival, that's been going on for a very long time, every year, went from, I think, £24 to £74.
How much?
£24 to £74 for
Okay.
a ticket
Okay.
in British money,
Capitalism.
pounds. But like, so this is the thing, is that Ariana Grande is not, to our knowledge, LGBT, and this is a Pride Festival where the point of it is to protest and celebrate being LGBT. And she is not. So she can be an ally if she wants, but making the ticket price increase by a
Did
very large
she
amount.
make it up? Did
No,
she,
and this is the thing about this controversy, is there's always two sides to it. She didn't mean to raise the ticket price. She just wanted to support and be an ally
Yeah.
of the LGBT community.
So maybe go there as a surprise.
Right. So like, yeah, I don't know. So that's the thing, is that she announced that she was going, and the ticket prices also went up because of the organizers raising the ticket prices to cover her fee or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, she could do it for free.
She could.
She could afford doing it for free. Like or she could just take less of a cut. Like, she doesn't have to take a lot of money to do this. So a lot of people were saying like, and there was a lot of people that were mad because they were saying like, this girl at my school who like is really homophobic, she's like asking me how to get tickets for Manchester Pride, and I'm not okay with it 'cause she's super homophobic, and I want to go to Pride because I'm not, and
It's
I'm
why
LGBTQ.
it's why it should be a surprise or like a day of announcement.
Right, yeah. So I don't know. There's definitely very good arguments on both sides of this. It's like the whole thing where companies take advantage, and this is like a thing that I've seen for a very long time, is that companies it's called exploitation of the LGBT community. So like, you get companies like TD Bank is a huge supporter of the LGBT community. What the hell does TD Bank do? Like, they're just a bank who decided that their image should align with LGBTQ values. Like, they don't have a CEO, to my knowledge. They don't have a CEO who's LGBTQ. There's not like some weird story about their founding. Like, they just decided that that it would be more profitable for them to support the LGBTQ community because there isn't already a bank that supports them as an ally. So it's very exploitative. Like, it's like it's weird, right? They're just They're just doing it to profit off of it. They're not doing it because it's the right thing to do. They're doing it as an advertisement. So people, and that's something that I've noticed being a part of the LGBT community for a very long time. That's something that I've noticed at Pride rallies, is like all these brands like TD Bank coming out and supporting Pride, I'm like, well, what have you done to support Pride besides giving us flags with your name on them at Pride? Because like I haven't seen shit that TD Bank has done to actually support the LGBTQ community.
I don't know shit what TD Bank does to begin with.
Right.
They have the garden. I don't know.
They have the garden, yeah. It seems very
Good for them.
I think that the exploitation is a very, very real thing, but it seems like it's just a fact. Like there's not much anybody can do about it.
It could be worse. They could say they don't support it at all.
True. I don't know. Yeah, like, is it worse? Is that worse? Is that better? I don't know.
Saying you don't support it, I think that's
I mean,
that's worse.
Yeah, but like if you're doing the right things for the wrong reason, it's still bad. It's not. It is better, but it's still bad because instead of saying
But like, what
you
could they
guys,
do? What could they
wrong.
say? We're hiring more LGBT people.
No, they could donate a portion of their profits to LGBTQ.
I wonder if
communities.
they do.
like the Travis Project, or they could donate it to the Stonewall centers all across the country. They could donate it. They could donate a portion of their profits.
I wonder what it says on their website here.
There are thousands of charitable foundations focused on the LGBTQ community around the country that they could easily support. But instead, they hand out weird flags with their name on it at Pride festivals. So it's like the same thing with Ariana Grande, like
Oh, they have a whole website here.
the TD Pride.
Where the fuck did I? Problem to website. Oh, let's open the doors and bring together a more inclusive tomorrow. It doesn't say. They have a conference for. Confidence. I can't read anymore.
Mm.
It doesn't say who they give money to though. Oh, as part of the support, we're helping to promote anti-bullying, anti-discriminating.
Yeah, okay. Give
Yeah,
me the
great,
evidence that they're
great.
doing that, though. They're just saying it. I don't know.
Work with the Alley Forney Center to boost awareness of homeless LGBTQ.
Okay, well, that's one thing.
Uh,
What are they doing for that center? Are they signal boosting the center, or are they?
It says
donating?
TD recently launched the Ready Commitment, a multi-year global platform which, among other initiatives, is targeting $1 billion in total by 2030 towards community giving. I don't know, man.
It's all very hand wavy.
It's almost
right?
like they don't want to say what they're doing.
Yeah, it's almost like it's intentionally obfuscated so that it's difficult to find out the accountability level of what they're actually doing. So this is and this is not just true for TD Bank. I've noticed it with other companies that support Pride festivals. It's you only hear from them when it benefits them to advertise.
Yeah.
You don't hear from them when there's a crisis, or sometime when the LGBTQ community actually needs help. This is the thing. You did not hear TD Bank making a fuss back in like 2008 when gay marriage was up on the Supreme Court, right?
Yeah.
No, you didn't. You didn't hear anything from them. You didn't hear anything from any of these companies back when when gay marriage was legalized in like 2008 or whatever.
Yeah, it was 08.
So like you didn't hear from these people back then. You didn't hear from these companies. They were not here the whole time. The Stonewall Center was here the whole time. You know?
Yep.
Like it's weird.
It's hip now.
It's
Hello,
just
fellow
It's
kids.
just advertise. Hello, fellow
Open a
kids.
bank with us today. We support everything.
That's the thing. I bet that TD Bank has a disproportionately high amount compared to other banks of LGBT members. That's pretty much all I got. You got anything else?
What's our time at? 102? Oh my God!
We've been
Yeah.
going for a while.
I don't know anything to talk about.
I think we're good.
I'm tired.
I'm tired too.
It's been a long week and it's only Friday.
I still have to go out on a date after this.
Where'd you meet this person?
I'll talk to you later about it.
Is it Tinder?
No.
Is it Bumble?
I'm going to talk to you later. I'll tell you all the details.
Is it Plenty of as long as it's not Plenty of Fish, because Plenty of Fish is trash.
No.
I don't know how that's
Ashley Madison.
Oh God. I don't understand how Plenty of Fish still exists in 2019.
Honestly, they were one of the oldest.
It's just weird because they've never updated their website. It looks the same as it did. And it's so strange.
From the 90s.
It's like they launched. It's like a set it and forget it kind of thing. And
You know
they
what?
just walked away.
I see a shit ton of ads all over Snapchat and Instagram, because I think Snapchat and Instagram know that I'm single now.
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't know how the fuck they know, but I've been seeing so many ads for Hiley, Hiley. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Never even heard of that.
Like, because you're not fucking single, so they don't advertise to you. It's fucking creepy.
I get a lot of ads for Taco Bell. What are they trying to tell me?
That you need more Taco Bell in your life and that you probably like Chipotle. But like, I get ads for Hailey. I get ads for this bisexual one. And like, I'm like, how the fuck do they know? How the fuck do they know that I'm bi? How?
Do you get ads for TD Bank?
Yeah, no, I mean, probably. I don't fucking know. But like, how the fuck does Snapchat know that I'm bi? Really, honestly, how do they know?
I don't know.
I get more ads for this like bi Cupid
I
or
mean,
whatever they call
do
it.
you search for like bisexual stuff
No.
on Google?
Why would I search for that?
I don't know.
I don't. Do you search for straight people shit?
It must listen to you when you talk. I've heard it before.
I
It listens.
guess they must. Like, they literally must.
Let's test it out.
I've definitely said
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. Kentucky Fried Chicken. We're screaming into our phones.
KFC. Colonel Sanders. RoboCop is now Colonel Sanders.
Oh my God. Like, that's a good one. I've definitely said the word bi or bisexual or like bi whatever, like some variation on the word bi. I've definitely said that in chats with people on Snapchat a bunch of times. So they're either reading the chats and pulling stuff out of the chats that I'm having for keyword targeting.
You're like, okay, Google.
Or they're just, like, that must be it. That must be it. I don't know.
That's the wild side of life right there.
Fucking Snapchat owns my life. Just take my soul. Give me more filters. Give me the fucking face swap filter back. How do they not have that anymore?
I saw that today and I was so shocked.
How it's been gone for like a year and it still bothers me that it's not there anymore. Put it back, Snapchat.
R.I.P.
Put the face swap filter back and back away slowly. End of podcast.
And on our next podcast, we might have a Trump supporter who wants to come on the podcast. So stay tuned for that.
Bring it on.
He wants to come on.
Bring it on.
He's I was talking to him today about it.
Tune in next time.
I'm done.
End of podcast.
Turn this off.
If you can dream it, you can do it.
Life's what you make of it.